Oh, that's not good. So today I'm going to be doing a little video just on how I clean my snake bowls. I think I've shown it before. I think I've shown it on my Instagram before. I've shown a few people what it is. It's basically this little thing here. I've added a new water line. So this is what we're going to look at today. But first, let me show you how the Stingray's doing. So before we jump into the pot cleaner, I'll quickly show you how the fish are doing. So if you didn't see my last video, I bought Stingray. It's a Matoro Stingray. It's a male, so it will get big, but hopefully it won't get too big. But yeah, he's doing really well. I've put a little bit of food in, so you can see he's sort of hunting around for food. He's basically been eating from as soon as I put him in here, which is absolutely brilliant. I haven't got him hand feeding yet. He feeds off a stick. I'm trying to eventually train him to come all the way up the side of the pond so I can actually feed him right at the top of the water, but that's just going to take time. But before I feed him, I'm just going to chuck some food in, basically, just because all the fish sort of try and steal the food off the stick, and they're all pretty well trained to it. Pretty much everything comes up and hand feeds, and they're all really small at the minute. All these fish, they're going to get absolutely huge, like the frontosa, that'll get massive. The green terrors, they're going to get big. The black shark, he's going to get absolutely huge. The scats, I think I mentioned in my last video, the scats are going to be they're going to be coming out of here eventually and going into my saltwater tank that I've got upstairs. The archerfish is one of the bigger species. He will get bigger. So I've got a knife fish. He hovers around the bottom. He'll get anything that sort of floats to the bottom. The pink-tailed chalceus again, that will get fairly big. So yeah, it'd be a lot better feeding them by hand once they do all get a little bit bigger. So to feed the stinger, I've been using an old fishing rod basically, just because trying to get the food down to the bottom without the fish, as you can see, the fish are quite food aggressive. But I've been using a little fishing rod just to try and feed him. And what I'll do is I'll just put it on the edge of his disc, and as soon as he finds it, he basically sucks onto it and he pulls it the majority of the time off the edge of the rod, just like that. And you see he'll get a little bit, and he'll give that a munch. Now he's only eating 2 or 3 bits a day, but by the time he gets absolutely huge, he'll probably be eating half a pack a day. I think once I get another ray in here, because I'm trying to find a female black diamond, as soon as I get another ray in here, I think he'll be a little bit more food aggressive. So hopefully then he will start coming for the food. But you see, he will chase it down a little bit. After a while, if he doesn't get it, he will have a little bit of a tantrum, and he will just shy away from it. But you can see he's not shy at all at the minute. Sometimes I do hook the food on a little bit too much, and it is hard for him to get it. But there you go, like that. He does sort of suck it off the end. Yeah, he runs away with it. But that's just a quick update on him, that he's feeding the stuff. But yeah, we'll get onto this little pot cleaner that I've made. So this is what I've come up with that I use for cleaning all my snake bowls. It's not a necessity, but I wanted to do it just because it makes it a lot easier, a lot quicker. And also I've got this other pipe that I'll talk about in a minute. But a lot of the time I'd have to collect the bowl, just while you can see this pipe goes down to there, but through there is a small sink. And for me to clean the snake bowls, I'd literally go backwards and forwards, cleaning the bowls. And I like to keep the same bowl with the same snake. Not that anything's wrong with my snakes, but I don't know, I just like to keep everything in the same place. And once that bowl's no longer been used, I will throw away. But type of bowls I use are just small little deli cups. I think pretty much everybody uses these now that has snake trays that have bowl holders in. But yeah, these are an absolute godsend, because if they do get too dirty or they crack or they've just been in there for too long, you can just chuck them away, get them recycled, things like that. But yeah, I always hate cleaning these just because it is a bit of a pain. Majority of the time they are pretty clean. You can just sort of chuck them out, rinse them, and then they're good to go. But I wanted something that was going to be a little bit quicker, especially where my table is. You can see all the mess that's going on because I've had some new stuff. But I've got the snake racks here. I've got the big racks up here, and then obviously I've got the long of a rack over there, which is eventually going, hopefully. Once I get this next rack built here, that will all be gone. So yeah, that's basically what I'm dealing with. So where I'm stood at the minute, where I've built this table, this is an absolute godsend. It's collapsible, which is good. There's some little struts underneath which basically hold it up. and then I had to redo these hinges on the sides. All this still needs to get redone. Yeah, it's a work in progress, but yeah, this is basically the hinge that I'm using. If you want to see how I built this table, then let me know. I can do a full build walkthrough on this basically, but yeah, it's nothing special. It's just a sheet of aluminium basically, and then I've just wrapped it with some plastic. That's all there is to it. But yeah, this is my main workstation. Eventually all of this is going to be cleared. This is my incubator I'm currently using. That'll be gone because I've got the other incubator there that I'm currently working on. So yeah, it's all a work in progress, and yeah, it's an absolute mess out here. But the whole idea of this was that I wanted something that I could use. So I've got constant water flow in now using this pipe. So this pipe goes all the way up, it goes out through there. This is all going to be sort of hidden. At a minute I've just got it resting like this, but it is going to be a little bit shorter where it comes straight down here. It's probably going to, the tap's probably going to finish about there, and then I'm going to have like a flexi bit of hose that will go into this that I can use. But yeah, that's the fill station that I've got now. That actually runs all the way through the utility room, out the wall, and then it's connected to the hose outside. So if it does leak, it's not in the house basically, it's outside. So I'll move that out of the way for a second just because that's not needed at the minute. So this is what I've come up with. I'll take this out. So I bought, let me show you how it works basically. I'll show you how it works first. Now I'll talk you through it. So basically what I'd do is I'd pull my snake tray out. So if I was over here, so this is one of my hypo blackheads that I've hatched. This is a female. As you can see, the water bowl, this coconut stuff that I'm currently using is really messy. As soon as it gets into the water bowl, it literally stains the whole water bowl, so you can see just how dirty it is. So if you do leave it a while, you don't clean them properly, this is what happens. But now I've got this up and running, it's just going to make it a lot easier. I can quickly change the water bowls out, give them a good spray really quickly. So what I would do is I'd get my snake, I'd pop it on the table, I'd do any spot cleaning. So it's got a little bit of poo there, it's got a bit of shed there, so I'd pull that out and I'd chuck that into the bin. Then I can take the bowl out. This one I will have to give a little scrub too, but just for demonstration purposes I'm just going to show you on a smaller one, and I'll get one of the bigger tubs that I've got over there. So if you watched me on Instagram, then you would have seen this already. I have already posted this on my Instagram, but all you do is you take your bowl, you put it over the top, give it a couple of presses, and it literally sprays the whole inside of the bowl. So that's a little 4-ounce deli cup that I'm using. These ones I believe are 16 ounces, this is what I use for my adults. Again, the bowl just sits on there. I'll give it a couple of presses. Then you can see it absolutely showers it. Yes, these are brand new pots. Yes, they are very clean, but it's the principle I'm trying to get across. So I'll break this down just so you can actually see what I'm working with. So this first bit is just something that I've 3D printed. It's very similar to the grate that actually come with this little piece in here, but it just wasn't quite big enough, so I just made my own. Obviously I had to put my logo on it just because it looks better, but yeah, that's just the main bit that sits over the top of this sprayer. So this sprayer is what they use in, like, I believe bars and restaurants and clubs and things like that, and it's for cleaning the glasses before they go into like a washer, I believe. So on here, on this little nozzle, you can see there's loads of little holes all the way around. So if I was to press this down now, you'd see all water squirt out of these nozzles, and it's basically just got a valve here. So as I'll push this down a little bit just so you can see. If you push this down, you can see the water coming out. So it's like a plunger almost. So it's push activated. And the way I've sort of done this was I bought a dog bowl. So this is just a dog bowl, stainless steel. I cut a couple of holes in it. So one is obviously for a drain, because obviously this is just fill out with water, otherwise you have to empty it. So I'll put a little drain in there. The other one is for this nozzle. And if I go underneath, you can see how it's all kind of attached. So under there you can see on the left, I'll try and put my finger there. So this bit here, so there's like a washer up underneath there, and there's a little rubber seal. So that basically sandwiches that in place so it stops any water leaking out. And then this comes down to this bit, and then you can see I've got another hose pipe, and then that hose pipe is linked to the sink that's in the utility room. So basically this green pipe, this sprays hot water out. So if I want to, once I've run it for a little bit, hot water soon comes out of there, and then it actually scrubs the bowls a little bit better, cleans them a little bit better. And then you can see on the right there, this is where the plug is basically. So it's the same sort of thing like that. There'll be a washer on the other side of this, and it just screws into place. And again, that goes all the way down into a pipe and out into a drain. And that's basically it. Other than that, it's nothing too exciting. So as I said, the whole idea of this was just to make my life a little bit easier. So I'm not going backwards and forwards to the sink, and it just makes it a bit quicker when I'm spot cleaning and stuff like that. I don't want to get the tray out, put the snake tray on here with a snake in it, and then while I'm out there messing about cleaning the bowls and scrubbing them if I need to, the snake then goes and does whatever, and yeah, things like that. But this table's big enough that I can fit these big 70-litre tubs in, and it is okay. I've got to be careful because they are due a feed, so they are going to be quite active. But yeah, I can just literally pull this out, chuck it straight onto this table, spot clean the bowls. And then the other thing I like is that I've got this, so now once I get this mounted, it'll probably be mounted up to about there. I can actually just refill the bowls straight away. In the utility room, we've only got hot water, we don't have cold water. So I was coming out here and I was having jugs, and I used to use this. I used to get an old Pepsi bottle or Coke bottle, whatever, fill that with water, and then I'd have to go through, fill all these up individually. And then once that run out, I'd go back into the kitchen, fill it up again. And yeah, it was just a nightmare. It was just taking way too long. So once this is up here, this is going to be mounted up. I was thinking of just leaving this as is, and then when I just turn it on, you can see the water just runs out. If I don't want too much water to come out at a time, I can cut it down a little bit, just so it dribbles out. And that's a case of, while I'm cleaning the bowls, imagine this was mounted, I can take my small bowl, give it a couple of sprays. If I need a scrub, I can just give it a quick scrub, and then I'll just put it underneath here with cold water, fill it up, and then that's it, job done. And yeah, it's nothing swanky, it's no showroom sort of thing, but it's just something that's just going to make my life a little bit easier. Basically, it's just going to make the whole process a lot quicker. And eventually what I'll do is I'll probably extend this a little bit. Once that's mounted up, I'll probably put a hose attachment that can go onto this, and that will go onto the pond with the stingrays and all the other fish, and then that's going to make it a little bit easier for me to do water changes on there as well, rather than running a hose all the way from outside through the window in the utility room, draped along the floor and into there. Another thing I was thinking about doing was maybe just extending this and extending that all the way around the room, all the way around, so it'll sort of come down into this corner, and then maybe have a tap somewhere over there. So if I want to do a water change, then I can literally just use one of these little taps that I've got on this bit, put that over there, and then when I want to do a water change, I can literally just turn that on. Eventually I will show you the sump for this pond. But outside I do want to put an overflow pipe on it, so that if I'm going to do a water change, or I might have like a slow trickle going on into this pond, so there's constant fresh water going in, I'll have to make a hole in the sump, and then that pipe will be draining out into the front driveway basically. But yeah, that's something for the future, but I need to get that whole garage area sorted out by then. So yeah, that's basically it. I wanted to give you a little update on the Stingray, because a few people had messaged me about that, just asking how he was getting on and stuff. And yeah, he's doing absolutely fine. He's currently chasing one of the fish around. I don't think he's big enough to eat any of the fish in here. All the fish in here are a decent size, so I don't think there's any risk of that, but we'll see. He will grow quite quickly. Yeah, to be honest, I think the fish in there will be fine. But yeah, just wanted to do a little update on the way I clean my bowls and stuff like that as well. Just because, again, I think I showed it on my Instagram a while ago, and a few people were asking about it, and I'm finally getting around to doing it. Finally got the majority of the plumbing done and the hosing and everything like that goes outside. So yeah, there's still a lot of work to do in the room. If you've watched my channel, you know I continuously change things. I'm saying I'm going to do one thing, and then next week I'm doing something completely different. But I think that's just the way it goes. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed that. If you want me to do anything else, if you have any questions on what I did with that, how I've done it, things like that, then obviously drop me a message on Instagram. I'll probably respond quicker there to most of the queries that I get. But you can leave a comment on the video as well if you want to. But yeah, if there's anything else you've seen out here, the snake racks that I showed you, the big ones over there, they're all DIY. I've done it myself, using aluminium, welding, all that sort of stuff, and pretty much anybody can do it. So if you have any questions on them, let me know. This pond, I built a pond myself. Again, never built an above ground pond before, it's just what I've seen on YouTube videos. So I have got a little mini series on that, so you can go back and watch that at some point. And obviously my hatchling rack, I've built that. It's probably one of the more recent videos that I've posted that have done quite well. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. I do have a snake clutch, hopefully being laid within the next sort of 30 days, depending if she does lay on time. Again, it's nothing exciting. It's an ultra male paired to a pastel clown, so it's going to be double hex, but it's something to hold back for that future. As is most of the stuff in here. Most of this is my holdback stuff that's up there, and again, none of it is particularly amazing looking to begin with, but when I do start pairing it and things like that, that's when it is going to start paying off for me in the long run. So I'm definitely in it for the long game. But yeah, a lot of this will eventually be available. Some of these adults are going to be available as well, so make sure you keep an eye on Morph Market. I will do updates on my Instagram as well, so it's always worth checking in from time to time just to see what's going on. But yeah, I am due a new 3D printer. I'm currently using a resin printer for some of the stuff, but I need something bigger, so I am going to be getting a 3D printer very soon. It's being released, I think, March time, so I should be able to get on pre-order for April, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then once that's done, it means I can start finishing off my incubator, so I'll be doing the finished build for my incubator. If you've sort of seen a little bit of that, that will be coming. Then this incubator can move, and then all of these are going to be put into another rack that goes over there, and this is going to be turned into a big poison dart frog wall, which is going to be epic. I really can't wait for that. And all of that, again, it's all going to be DIY builds. All the individual tanks are going to be made by myself, all the misting, the lights. I'm going to put a huge drainage layer in, so rather than the water sitting at the bottom of the tank, which can smell sometimes, the water's actually going to drain out through the bottom of the tanks, and it'll have like a little mini filtration system on it. So basically the frogs are going to get fresh water misted all the time. So that is a big build that's coming up. Obviously I need to get rid of these, so if you are interested in any of these, hit me up and I'll let you know what's available. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much everything I've got for you. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.